Viewer discretion is advised.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Train Simulator 2020. My name is YoAdrian, and today we're going to be back on the racetrack route. Going to be doing a BNSF Intermodal train, the Z-CHCPTL Chicago to Portland. Among the many captivating aspects of the famed racetrack is its role of hosting BNSF's hottest intermodal trains operating between Chicago and the Pacific Northwest. You are the engineer of the priority intermodal Z-CHCPTL Chicago to Portland, preparing to depart the Ogden side of the massive Cicero yard with a trio of BNSF GE ES44DCs as power. So let's go ahead and hop in the scenario here and see what it's all about. Alright, Cicero Ogden side terminal master to the train. Your train is inspected and ready for departure via Cicero yard 3 lead. Proceed to and stop at Cicero 2 lead and then contact the mainline dispatcher. Alright, sounds like a plan. So here's our power today. Got BNSF 7350, 7202, and 7644. Hauling a whole intermodal train here of nothing but essential items heading all the way up towards Portland here. Got some Schneider, J-Line, which is supposed to be K-Line, just a whole bunch of other Mearseek and JB Hunt and all that. So let's go ahead and get on the power here. There we go, release that brake. Sound that bell. Let everyone know we're coming through. Might need notch 2. Nope, notch 2 is perfect for us. There we go. Alright, got a little local switching move going on over there in the intermodal yard today. Alright, how is everyone doing out there today though? Hopefully you guys are having an awesome day so far. Hopefully. Little BNSF GP38-2s over there. Don't want to be going above 15 because we are actually being pointed on these scenarios, so we do have points. So we don't want to be going above 15 miles an hour so that we don't get dock points. But it looks like we're hauling a couple different loads today. We got intermodal, and then we also have TOFC, which is like your trailers on the containers basically. So that's pretty cool. We got both today on our train. Something you don't normally see anymore are the trailers for the most part. You don't see them as often. But we got advance approach. So BNSF 7202 advance approach, Cicero yard 3 lead. And then we'll stop here at that approach signal at Cicero 2 lead. But yeah, we're basically just hauling a train load of nothing but essential items. So like canned food, masks, ventilators, plastic gloves, Lysol, you know, all that fun stuff. Toilet paper, you know, Clorox wipes, Clorox bleach, all that fun stuff. That's what we're basically hauling today up to Portland. And probably a whole bunch of other stuff too, like whatchamacallit, like clothes or like toys or stuff like that. So the whole train isn't all essential items, but a majority of it is. Let's go ahead and start slowing down here so we can stop here at the lead without clearing that signal. There we go. Alright, I don't see why they had us pull up to contact the signal, to contact the dispatcher, but we did. Alright, engineer train Z-CHCPTL lead unit 7350 to Chicago subdivision dispatcher. We are at the west end of Cicero and ready to pull westbound. Chicago commuter Dinky 1266 about to call at Lavergne. Once it's passed subject to signal indications, you can pull from Cicero and we'll be crossing over to operate via main 2 dispatch route. Alright, so we're waiting on Dinky here, which is calling at Lavergne now. Once Dinky 1266 is passed, we received a mainline signal ahead. It is safe to pass the red dwarf signal ahead. Alright, so we're technically got an approach signal. So I'm not quite sure what red dwarf it's talking about. I'm assuming it's this one. So we'll just go ahead and wait here and wait on the Dinky. Alright, so there is that Dinky that we're waiting on, the westbound, the commuter, whichever you want to call it, Dinky, commuter, don't matter. There he is right there, Suburban, what the BNSF dispatchers call him. They call them the westbound Suburbans. Short one today, a little 5 cars, probably because of the COVID stuff that they're running them shorter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I'm sorry, 6 cars. They're running them super short today. So we're just going to be waiting on that signal there to get something more favorable. There we go. Diversion clear. All right, here we go. So we got an approach to a stop signal. So let's go ahead and move on forward here. Release the brake. Notch 2 to begin with. Oh, want to do notch 1. We don't want no wheel slippage going on over here. There we go. That long train heading all the way down to Portland, Oregon. Which would be kind of cool is if we can actually get to the BNSF yard in American Truck Simulator in Portland. We can maybe try to unload part of this train and then get one of those like empty trailers that are on the things. I feel like that'd be pretty cool to do. But I've got a couple different things planned for American Truck Simulator coming up now, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm not too worried about that one. There we go, passing that red one. Denied. Okay, well we're denied to pass that signal for some reason. That should have been the dinky that we were supposed to be waiting on. Because we do have a diversion clear. Unless there's another one we're supposed to be waiting on. Let me check the switches. No, that's in the proper direction. That one is not, though. There we go. Alright, so the switch wasn't in the proper direction. Now we're good to go. It's a quiet zone, so we'll kind of go sounding bells for this crossing here. There we go. Alright, here we go. So we're on a diversion clear, because if we end up going straight, we'll be hitting that freaking bumper back there, or the buffer. Don't want to be doing that. Definitely don't want to be doing that. Sound that bell for the crossing. Alright, let's go ahead and get on out of the yard here. Let's go ahead and do some mainline running. Here we go. BNSF 7350. Got a whole lot of signals coming up here. Mile pole 9. Mile pole 9. Here we go. We got the bell here for the crossing here, because that switch is on a crossing. I'm not sure what crossover we're using, if we're using the first one or the second one. Probably the second one, knowing this game. Yep, we're going straight and then we'll hit on the second one. Looks like we had some people miss their train over here. 4 people that did not get on that one. And that sucks for them, I guess. Oh, we're speeding. We don't want to be doing that. Nope, nope, no speeding, no speeding, no speeding, no speeding. There we go. But yeah, on this line, the Metro does have priority, since Metro does own the tracks, honestly. So they'll have priority over all the freight trains and stuff. So yeah, that is why we had to wait for that dinky. Even though he was technically on the main line and we're in the siding, or we're in the yard. Of course, it was going to take us a longer time to actually get out of the yard and stuff like that. So that is why we ended up having to wait on him. But yeah, Metro usually will probably get the priority on this line, unless it's like a priority freight like this. Then this will get priority less. It'll be about the same priority as the Metros over like Amtrak and all that fun stuff, or over any other freight and stuff like that. So if there's any other freight running down Main 2 right now, they'll probably get switched over to Main 3 and probably have to wait till after a dinky or something like that, because right now we have the top priority train on the line besides Metro. Because there's a lot of different BNSF trains that terminate here, originate here, that go to the West Coast. So we are one of them. We go to Portland. There's probably some that go to Los Angeles. Probably some that go to like San Francisco and all that. So, or not San Francisco. Probably a few that go to Los Angeles and all that fun stuff. So Coming up on a platform here. We got 3 locomotives today, which is nice. Super, super, super nice. But yeah, just hauling some essential supplies for everyone here in case, you know, people need more stuff. That dude's on the yellow line, which is not good. And we're on a clear indicator coming out of here, which is nice. Definitely nice. Looks like it's going to be, it's not really the morning rush. Could be like the afternoon rush because it is almost 2 o'clock. So, not like lunch rush or anything like that. But, could just be, I'm not sure. It's probably it's probably a weekend day. I'm not quite sure though. But here we are, running through these platforms here. I think I see a clear up ahead. Looks like. We got a fence in between us, so we don't actually need the bell anymore. Because nobody can actually run on our track unless they end up jumping the fence here. Alright. So we are on a 30-mile-an-hour zone right now. We got an Amtrak coming through. Early Amtrak, seems like. Unless it's a... No, it's an early Amtrak, because none of the Southwest Chief or the Zephyr don't leave yet. So it is a super early Amtrak, unless they're running on modified schedules because of the COVID stuff. Or there could be track construction out west that they have to run a modified schedule. I know the city of New Orleans does that, so whenever there's track work down in like Memphis or anywhere around south there, they sometimes have them run on an early schedule or run later. I remember one time the 58, which is the morning one, ended up swapping trains consist with 390 because they were running 58 as 390 and the 390 consist as 58 in the mornings. So I know they've done that a few times as well. Like he's going to be coming up on us here. We're coming into Harlem Avenue here. We're going to sound the horn because, yeah. We'll also sound the horn at this next crossing too, so people know that there's a secondary train coming in. This is like one of those key scenarios where you want to sound a horn, because there could be like him right there. Somebody will start crossing, they won't see me. So yeah, this is one of those key times where you want to sound a horn at this crossing, but usually you want to keep it as a quiet zone for the most part. Yeah, there he goes, and there looks like another BNSF coming towards us there, going eastbound. So we got a 45 zone coming up, so let's go ahead and full throttle this bitch, and let's go ahead and run down a racetrack. So one thing I actually learned is that in a quiet zone, because I've had a lot of people comment telling me that I need to start using the bell, that I need to use the bell in a quiet zone. I have actually learned that in a quiet zone, there's no horn or no bell. You just drive right on, you just run right on through the crossing. So I don't need a bell or a horn for a quiet zone. So just run right through the crossing since it is quiet, no horn, no nothing, unless it's needed. So like a passenger station's nearby, or if like let's say like there's an emergency, like a car coming through or something like that, that's when you sound the horn, or something like that where there's another train blocking your view. So if like let's say there was a train on track 3 that was like right ahead of me blocking my view, and then it ended and then somebody wanted to start crossing, that's when you would do it, especially if you're like your view is going to be, if someone's view is going to be obstructed by the passing train or something like that. So that is when you would end up having something like that. But yeah, usually you don't have any whatchamacallit, any bell or anything for the crossings in a quiet zone. That is what I learned from a video I watched on Metro, because the engineer was in a quiet zone the entire trip for the most part, did not use a horn at all or bell at the quiet zone crossings. So that is what I learned. So for anybody out there telling me that I need to start using a bell in this video for the quiet zones, no, I do not. Just letting you guys know out there, letting y'all know. But of course I'll be using it at platforms, especially right here. I don't really have to since there's a fence. But if there was a fence on the other side, I wouldn't have to at all. But since there is no fence on the left-hand side, I'm still going to sound the bell just in case, to let people know we're here, in case, you know, people or someone is blind and they can't see, they can actually still hear. Alright, so we're actually going to be taking this thing all the way down 26 miles to Aurora. Alright. We got a clear indicator here. Another clear indicator. One thing I've been noticing is that there is a fence on the right hand side of us, but there is no fence on the left hand side, which I don't understand. But we'll still sound the bell at the crossings, and or not the crossings, the station stops, the platforms. But that's about it. We got something back here. I know we had... Oh, I guess not in this locomotive. But, yeah, so I hope you guys are having an awesome week so far, or an awesome day as well. I know I am. It's nice to be back at work. After having a few days off, it's actually real nice to be back at work. Alright. Little EOT device on the rear there. Very nice. Very nice. This one we're not going to sound at. Well, maybe we should. We got some BNSF Jeeps over here. Doing a light power move or something like that. Got some CSX and BNSF box cars. Kind of cool. Very cool. Here we go. Got some people on the yellow line on that side and over here as well, which is definitely not what they're supposed to be doing, but they're going to be doing it anyway because people don't give a shit. People do not give a shit. I need to do like a switching move over here because I feel like that'd be kind of cool, is doing like a switching scenario. I think this is my actual first time hauling a freight train on the racetrack route. Normally all I've done was passenger, so I feel like this is the first time I've ever hauled a freight train. I'm not quite sure what these tracks are over here. It looks like some sort of yard. I don't know. It might be the BRC, I think. I don't know. I'm not quite certain. But we are on another clear indicator here, which is good. Good. Looks like they got a restricting over there, probably from that Amtrak at no, they're probably not even at. Maybe they're at Naperville, right? No, I doubt it. That one don't stop at Downers Grove, which is LaGrange Road, which is this one. I know they stop here and then they go to Naperville and then, you know. But we still got East Hinsdale to pass, Fairview, Yackley, Eola, and then stop at 1.338. Sounds like a plan. All right. Look at that. That just looks phenomenal. The BNSF Gevos right there. Honestly, I'm not really a fan of Gevos. I'm more of like an EMD type person when it comes to locomotives. But the Gevos do look good. Let's go ahead and shut off our headlights here for that incoming train. There is another BNSF Intermodal right there. Possibly the eastbound one. Another hot shot Intermodal. That's going to be going into the Cicero yard that we actually just left out of. And he's also got 3 Gevos as well. There we go. Turn our headlights back on. He's still following the crossing, so no bell or crossing is needed. There we go. Yeah, so no crossing device, bell, horn, anything is needed. And nothing's needed at our next crossing either, since that. But he will probably need one. Nope, he just cleared it, so he'll probably need one over there. No, not really. You can still see, so. Alright. So we got another restricting going on that way. Have not seen a westbound commuter yet. Probably because they're all running on restricting signals. Yeah, have not seen a westbound commuter yet. But I do actually get a ton of questions on my videos about how I know like railroad signals and like railroad jargon, which is like your language or like railroad language or like code or terms or whatever you want to, however you want to pronounce it. And I do get quite a few questions on like, how do you know all this stuff? Like, how do you get all the, because sometimes I'll throw scanner audio in the videos, and no, that is not actually from like live audio. The scanner audio that I have thrown in my videos that I do sometimes, I'm gonna try to do it on every train sim video now, if there's no like immersion in the cab. So like here, you can barely hear the radio in the cab. There is like immersion for like audio, but you can't actually hear it. And what I like to do is I have like a police scanner that does pick up the railroad. So a lot of the audio I have is from the Norfolk Southern Bloomington district, as well as the CN Chicago subdivision, and from like Chicago's Union Station and stuff like that. So a lot of the audio I have is from those two places. So what I do was I have a voice recorder that I plug a aux cord into, or like one of those like split aux cords. And I have one end going into my scanner, into the microphone, or like the headphone microphone slot, and then I have another one going into my earphones. So I'll end up just recording the audio and stuff like that while I'm on the train, or if it's like I know like I'm like, let's say I'm rail fanning and stuff like that, and I'm at like an actual platform, so I'll sit there and actually record the audio, and then I'll put it like in the MP4 format and all that fun stuff, and I'll actually put it inside the video. So I still have a ton of audio to go through. I'm not like 100% done with it, but I will be keep putting scanner audio in the videos once again. I know I've kind of been straying away from doing that, but I'll be putting that in the videos once again soon. So that is kind of what I do with that. So it's actual real life like railroad radio audio, but it's stuff that I've listened to on my scanner and I've just recorded. So I know I get a ton of questions about that. And then also about like the codes and like the signals and stuff. Same thing, it's just listening to the scanner and then like kind of observing, because when I used to take Amtrak all the time, I ended up a lot of the times during the backup moves and stuff, because our train actually had to back out of Union Station or back into Union Station because of how our the CN Chicago subdivision was lined up with Chicago. So sometimes I knew a lot of conductors, and sometimes the conductors would have me like stand out on the platform with them and just kind of learn, because I told them I wanted to work for Amtrak when I grew up, or like anything railroad related. So they had me kind of come out there and learn stuff like that, and then just like looking at signals and just listening to the scanner and like asking them and stuff like that. The one thing that's the confusing part is that each railroad signals are different. And that's one of the confusing things, because I know on the CN, when we get on at Champaign, sometimes you'll have a clear, sometimes you'll have a restricting, sometimes you'll have approach diverging, or a diverging clear, diverging approach. So that's kind of how I figured out, because whenever you're boarding the train, it's like you just look north down the platform and it's right there. So that's what I used to do, is I used to say, okay, so it's so the signal is a red over yellow, which on CN's terms is a diverging approach. So I would hop on the train, put the scanner on, and then of course when the highball message, which highball means to depart, the highball message came on, I would end up, listening to the scanner, and the engineer would be like, conductor would give the highball, engineer would be like, okay, depart Champaign on a diverging approach, and then your station time and stuff like that. So sometimes they'd be like, conductor would say highball, and the engineer would be like, clear, diverging approach diverging, restricting Champaign, or something like that. We don't normally have too many restricting signals out of Champaign. I think we've only done it like once or twice since I've started taking Amtrak. Normally we'd get a clear, diverging approach diverging, or a diverging clear out of Champaign. Looks like we got a coal train coming in over here, possibly going to head up to the CN here. For sure going to head up to the CN off the racetrack here. Alright, sorry about that, guys. They were testing the tornado sirens here in my town right now. But yeah, this train, usually what they'll do is with BNSF coal trains, they'll run from the racetrack route eastbound, then they'll run onto the CN Chicago subdivision through the airline bridge, which is that one bridge back by Halstead Street that you guys see in game. They'll run those up to the Chicago subdivision. And I know they run them down south through Champaign, because I've seen them through Champaign before. I'm not sure where they actually go to, but I know that BNSF runs them on the Chicago subdivision with the CN crew, I believe. And there was actually one time they had a coal train. It was a northbound going eastbound, or northbound going westbound, that actually ended up dying on the law at 16th Street, which died on the law means the crew ran out of their 12-hour shift, which means they can't touch the controls anymore. And they were stopped at 16th Street for a while, which delayed all the trains until they could find a new crew. So Amtrak was late about 3 hours coming into Chicago that day. We were actually stopped over by right before McCormick Place for that, and the trains just kept backing up and backing up and backing up, which I don't understand why they couldn't just put us on, or all of us on Main 1 to go around them, because no train was on Main 1, even though the dispatcher said all the mains were blocked. But there was no train on Main 1 because Amtrak usually goes Main 2 on the Chicago sub northbound through 16th Street to get to the airline bridge. But you can also run them down Main 1 as well. So I'm not quite sure why they did that, but they did. So we got an advance approach over here. Or actually a approach diverging. And this is what I was meaning by the signals are the confusing part. Because on BNSF, this is an approach diverging, which is your double yellow. On CN, it is a yellow over green. So you will be crossing over to Main 1 at Downers Grove. Crossover is 35. You'll be following the Amtrak Train 5 on Main 1. Expect restricting signals. Dispatch, you're out. Alright, so we're going to be following the Amtrak here on Main 1. So they probably have something else going over here. So yeah, that is an approach diverging on BNSF. But on CN, like I said, it's a yellow over green. So that's where it kind of gets confusing. And so if, like, let's say you're an engineer working for Amtrak or Metra, and you run on different lines, you'll have to actually be trained on all those railroad signals. So I know Amtrak, you have to actually pass a railroad signals test, where BNSF, Amtrak, CP, NS, all that fun stuff, and stuff like that. I know that for a fact because I actually read that somewhere about Amtrak engineers. Is that they actually have to pass all the signal tests and stuff like that, so. But yeah, so like I was just saying, a yellow over green on CN's the approach diverging. BNSF, it's a yellow over yellow, or a solid yellow over yellow. But probably on like BNSF, the yellow over green would be an advance approach, which means your next signal is going to be an approach. Approach diverging means your next signal is going to be a diverging clear or diverging approach, because approach diverging just means that you're going to be switching tracks at the next signal, basically, and stuff like that. So, but yo, we just hit a car. Holy shit, we just hit a car. I'm not going to throw it into emergency or anything because I know that that's not really supposed to be a thing, but we ended up just hitting a car here. Probably should have thrown it in emergency, but then of course there's no car, and then of course he's just going to get on his merry way, so not going to worry about it. But yeah, same thing with like the approach signal, or like an advance approach, which on CN is a flashing yellow over a solid red. So that's kind of how signals are going to be different. Same thing with like a restricting signal. CN has a red over white. I know there's a term for the white, but I just can't remember what it is. But it's like a white clear signal. And then another railroad would have a solid red over a flashing red, or a flashing red over a solid red. Each railroad is different in terms of their signaling and stuff like that, which does make it confusing. And then of course there's still cars going through the crossing, which is a glitch crossing, so I'm not going to worry about it. But we did have a advance approach turn into a clear here, which is nice. So yeah. But yeah, it's the same thing like with the railroad language. It's just been years of like listening to the scanner and talking to my conductor and engineer buddies over at Amtrak and CN and all that. But yeah, it's basically like, I mean, I know I get a lot of questions on it, like how do you pick up on it? It does take a little bit to pick up on it. That's why they get you through like a training course when you become a conductor and engineer. But yeah, some of the stuff is actually pretty easy, like highball, like I was mentioning earlier. It means depart, but it's also a drink in the non-railroad railfan world. So a highball means, yeah, you're okay to depart, but then if you are, like, let's say a bartender or something, it's an alcoholic drink as well. Same thing with like diverging. You're just going to be switching tracks from the signal, basically, or you're just going to be switching tracks, basically. Dead on the law, which means like your crew time is up. You have to wait for a relief crew. You can't touch control. So if, like, let's say you're nearing your 12 hours, which is your dead on the law time for a crew, the dispatcher will have to stop you at like a yard office or a yard or a passenger station or just somewhere anywhere close that you can send a van down, which a van is your relief crew, to get you off the train. Because once that 12-hour mark hits, you have to have your train completely stopped. You cannot touch a control or anything like that, because you can get, the FRA can penalize the railroad for that, especially if you're running more than 12 hours. Same thing with like truck drivers, where you have your logbook, you can't drive more than 12 hours and you get a 12-hour break. It's the same thing with the railroad. You get 12-hour shift, and I think it's either a 12 or an 8-hour break in between, and then you can get back on your train and head back to your home base, or head to another destination if you were at your home base. Yada 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 yada. Deadhead is like a movement of a crew or equipment from one point to another, or to a train by vehicle transportation or by a train. So if, like, let's say, happens on Amtrak all the time, we'd always have like CN crew or BNSF crew on there. They'd be deadheading from like Champaign to Chicago. That means they're probably going to be, or not to Chicago, to Homewood. That means that they're going to be catching a train at Homewood, but they lived at Champaign, or they were just on a train at Champaign, or dropped off a train at Champaign. They had to head back to Homewood. They would take Amtrak, or probably another CN train would take them down there if they're heading north or south or whatever direction they may be going. All right, but yeah, in the hole, which is a term which means that the train is in the siding. So you'd have one train hold the main, which is the one train that's going to be on the main line, and then you have one that takes the hole or in the hole, which means that train is in the siding. So yeah, there's a lot more other terms out there. I'm just kind of talking like broad order terms. There's also like bad order, which means that the train, or like the car, locomotive, whatever, is out of order. That it's like not bad, but it's got a defect to it. So if, like, let's say it had a hot box, or if a brake shoe came off or something like that, it's technically considered bad order. Or if it even had like a defect with like a brake or a wheel or an axle or something like that. Even like locomotives can get bad ordered. It could have like a traction motor issue, or anything, just anything, any defect that would allow it to have to come off of a train and be put into a siding makes it a bad order. There's also like bulletins and stuff like that. There's different bulletins for different railroads. BNSF uses track warrants, whereas the CN uses GBOs, which is a global bulletin order, or a TGBO, which is a track global bulletin order. They basically mean the same thing, but they're just different ways of expressing it and stuff like, not expressing it, but different ways of like doing it and stuff like that. But it technically does mean the same exact thing. So, but yeah, that's pretty much that. Like I said, just kind of wanted to go over like a little bit of the basics of railroading for you guys. I'm not a railroader myself. I just have years of experience from taking Amtrak and talking to people and stuff like that, and years of rail fanning and everything like that. So we got an Amtrak 6 coming through over here. He's early as well, 'cause usually they don't come in. Usually the Southwest Chief would be leaving soon. He's a little, oh no though, yeah, train number 5 left early, because they usually leave around 2:15. So here's a eastbound one. Not sure what train this would be. You got AMTK 150, AMTK 47, I think. 42 or 47, one of the two, I don't know. But yeah, so that is that. But yeah, it's just kind of years of just, doing the hobby and stuff like that. Like a lot of people, if you like into racing or like into like modeling, you know all the terms for that. Or if you're like you're like either a firefighter or you know about firefighting, you know all the terms for that. It's just kind of, listening and observing and just, doing that thing for a while and stuff like that. So it's basically all the same thing. But we got about 13 miles, or actually no, about 12 miles left to go till we have to stop. Coming up on the Yackley crossover right now, which I don't even see a crossover. Or I didn't even see a crossover back there. right here. Oh, it's back there, so they kind of pushed it up a little bit. Okay, I see. I see. Alright, usually the freight trains, like the intermodal trains like that, are a lot longer than what this one is. That's probably because of, you know, limitations with railworks and stuff like that. But I thought that they said we were supposed to be getting nothing but like approaches and restricting signals. All I've gotten was somewhat clear signals, except for that one advance approach back there, and then that one coming up over here, which just turned into a clear. So I'm not sure. I don't really know. I thought we were following the Amtrak, unless the Amtraks, I think they actually, never mind, I think they actually go faster than we do. I think they actually have a 60 mile an hour zone, and we're stuck down at a 50, so. But yeah, we've got nothing but clear signals, when we were supposed to be getting nothing but restricting signals. Which I don't see why they put a hotshot intermodal on a restricting signal all the damn time either. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. But nothing I can say about it. But yeah. So they got a restricting on main 1 over there, which looks like there's a train coming through. I do see a headlight. And we're currently about 8 miles away from our destination there. So it looks like the gates haven't gone down yet. Oh, there they go. Now they're going down. Cool. Alright, so we had another advanced approach signal turn into a clear indication, so not quite sure. So we got another freighter coming at us here. The freight trains are busy this time of day. Yes, they are. Alright, let's go ahead and shut off our headlights so we don't blind him there on the second track. Looks like it's going to be an ethanol train with a CSX in between. That is probably why we had to get off of our track and on here so he can pass by. Because these are also trains that have top priority. These ethanol trains. They probably have a little bit the same or more priority than we do. Got a Jevo on the rear there. And as you can see there, got an advance approach here at Aola. Or clear out Aola. Aola, however you pronounce it. Got some Jevos over here as well. Getting ready to load onto that manifest right there. So with them slowing down here, this one possibly might be our advance approach. And then I see an approach signal down yonder over there as well. So with any luck, this one might switch to a clear. And that one would be an advance approach. I don't know though, but it looks like it's going to be an advance approach. BNSF 7390 advance approach, Yola. Main 3, or main 1. So we got an approach down over there, which constitutes as a 35 mile an hour zone for freight. Unless that turns to an advance approach here soon, which we will see. We will definitely see. But the speed does drop down to a 40. So, who knows? Who knows? I know Amtrak doesn't stop at the next station or the next 2 stations, which is Aurora and or Route 59. So, yeah, looks like it's going to be an approach. Let's go ahead and knock it down to a 35 here with the brake. I don't know what the hell that happened was, but it happened. Because we are coming up on a 40 here, and I don't want to be losing points. Come on. Don't dock me any points. I don't want to be docked any points. Ooh, perfect. BNSF 7350 approach. YoLa 1.35 main 1. Or 35.7 main 1. I guess it would be 35.5. I guess that's what it would be. I'm still learning signals and shit for a racetrack. I need to get like an actual like operating manual for the racetrack. I feel like that'd be pretty fun, pretty cool. So next signal will probably be a stop indication. I'm not quite sure though. No, we are coming to a stop at about 2.6 miles, so. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the video today. If you guys did, do make sure you hit that like button, as well as that subscribe button with the bell icon. I know the bell icon does not give, or YouTube does not give out notifications when they're supposed to. So, if you guys actually want full notifications of when I upload a video or go live or anything like that, you should join the Discord server, because that will give you notifications as soon as it happens. So usually it's between like right as I upload or 5 minutes. Have an NTW BRC lead unit being 8053 on the Aurora sub out of Rochelle, and we'll need to hold you until he clears on a double track. Hold back and come to a stop at main 1 mile pool 38, and await my radio clearance to proceed dispatcher out. Alright, sounds like a plan. So it'll be at mile pool 38. We're at mile pool 36 right now, just crossing over to 36. But yeah, so make sure you guys join the Discord server if you guys do want actual notifications of when I upload and go live and stuff like that. Also, if you guys haven't already, make sure you do follow me on all the social media. Everything is down in the description down below. For my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that fun stuff, everything is down in the description. So make sure you guys do that as well. As well as if you guys want to, you can also join the Patreon. You guys can do that as well. I'm not asking you to, but that option is available for that $5 tier. It's $5 a month, and you get some awesome features as well. So I'm not asking you guys to do that. I'm just letting you know the option is available. As well as if you guys do want to add me on like Steam or Xbox or PlayStation, you guys can do that as well. I don't get on console as much as I do on PC, so just letting you guys, or a fair warning on that. But that looks nice with the weeds and stuff. That looks pretty damn cool. Yeah, I don't get on console as much as I do on my PC, so adding me on like Steam would probably be the best one. I do have Origin and Blizzard as well if you guys want to add me on there. I know that's not on the YouTube thing or in the description, but if you guys do want to add me on that, just let me know. We're taking some major frame droppage over here because of the Aurora yard. All that VLP stuff should be helping, but it's not. There we go. But yeah, as well as if you guys want to see anything special in Train Simulator, any special like train you want me to haul, any special unit if there is a mod available for it, let me know down in the comments. If you guys want to see a special unit, do let me know with a link in the description. So if you guys want to see, like, let's say a Conrail patched SD70 or SD60i or M or whatever, the Norfolk Southern had that was Conrail patch for the EMDs, let me know in the comments with a link so I know exactly what I'm looking for. Letting you know what that option. Or if you guys want to see something else in any other game like Train Sim World, I know I already have a request for a CSX heavy haul on there, as well as a Caltrain from San Jose to San Fran with an MP36. And then I know I already have a request on here for another reefer train with a CN ES44 DC locomotive. So I do take requests, and I will be doing them in the order they come in. It just won't happen like as soon as it comes in, because I have other video ideas and stuff to do before that I want to get, you know, push away and everything like that. So I do have a full notebook of video ideas and stuff like that. So your whatchamacallit, your ideas and stuff like that, requests, don't go unnoticed. I do try to get to them as soon as I can. But we're going to be coming to a stop here. Let's just go ahead and start slowing this train down. Put that in idle. There we go. Stopping at that signal. It is a clear signal. But yeah, so if you guys do have any video ideas, requests, anything, do let me know down in the comment section down below. I'll go ahead and turn the bell on since we are coming to a stop here. And we should stop before the signal possibly. I'm going to try to, but I don't think we will. Yeah, we should. No, maybe not. No, we won't. We'll be a little bit after the signal, but it is a clear indication, so I'm not too worried about it. Alright, here we go. Alright, so we're stopped currently here, and this should be the end of the scenario, guys. Alright, well done. While we wait for them to arrive and clear, sit back and relax. Scenario complete. Alright, guys. Well, that's going to go ahead and do it for this one. Take care, everyone.